Right, so welcome to the sixes tutorial. Today we are going to discuss how the sixes impact the reading and us as well. The first thing to note is the sixes are generally paths, and it's because, I suppose, the patterns on the cards indicate paths. They look like footprints or paw prints, if you like, cats. Um, so the sixes are generally some sort of path, and there's a few exceptions to the rule. Usually they are transition forward into the future, but I'll get to it as I go along. So transitions, paths, they also represent comfort and nurturing. The home and family as well can be quite represented by the two red cards. So it's can be responsibility, peace, harmony, balance, really, because it's kind of a give and take card as well. So you can expect a bit of fairness, compassion, and on the other hand, you can also expect not to have that. So there's a bit of cooperation happening with the sixes. You can also some of the cards can also be have like a karmic link. So one can also look into that. Generally, they tend to be somewhat idealistic, a little bit dependable as well. It's kind of the duality of the sixes. On a negative aspect, the sixes can be indicate stubbornness, difficulty, irresponsibility. Everything has a flip side. Can be overly critical, sometimes arrogant, selfish, a little bit self-centered. It's my path, and I'm going to take it. It can also be a little outspoken. So it can breed a bit of discontent, anxiety, and even a bit of suspicion when it comes to the spades. Right, so let's start with the six of clubs. Six of clubs is it's usually a nice card when it pops out because it's relatively clear cut. There aren't too many negatives really with it. It generally indicates a path towards harmony. There's a fortunate outlook or kind of direction that you're taking or going to take or have the opportunity to take. So it's great news. It also signifies that your path is kind of cleared to attain your goals. There's a sense of satisfying progress. It can also indicate recognition for past work. So that's the transition, the path into recognition. So generally, it's seen as a good run of luck and even prosperity in some cases. So it really says that there's no time for doubt. Self-doubt is not something that we should be experiencing when this card pops out. You need to trust your intuition and have a solid business plan and just know that victory and success is really on its way. It encourages you to take leadership, have the confidence and self-esteem to grab onto your goals and run with it. It can also speak of a business trip because of the path, and the clubs tend to be either businesses or goals orientated cards. So there's that. It can bring that up on a sort of more altruistic kind of thing. It can also speak about motivating and inspiring other people, teaching or learning, reading. It's some sort of education as well. Generally, it's entering a peaceful phase, so I always see it as a good sign when it pops up. Yeah, the six of hearts. That's the kind of odd exception. It's not. They're all paths, but the six I always kind of look at it as going either way. You can go forward or you can go backwards. What I call memory lane. So on the positive aspects, it can be receiving or expressing affection, goodwill, generosity. So there's that give and take of goodwill. It can also mean being attentive to other people's needs. So this is why it's quite a family card in that respect, or at least with close friends. It could be offers of love, yeah, an offer to move forward along this path with someone, falling in love, new love. Can mean all those kind of things. It can be a new love affair or a marriage proposal because it's moving. So it's changing. It's the emotions could be changing onto a different level. So from that point of view, it could indicate marriage. The other aspects, of course, is that it can be a kind of a karmic connection even. But karmic connections aren't always all lovey-dovey and positive, so one has to be aware of that. On the more negative aspects of it, it can indicate clinging to the past, which was what I was saying. It's a card that has a path backwards and forwards. So it depends on the rest of the reading and what it's actually telling you. It can indicate moving forward or lingering in the past, hence my term, the memory lane card. So it can be memories, nostalgia, homesickness, remembering your childhood, or even just having a desire to return to a more stable, more safer kind of environment or time. So if when you are being very unstable, you got a very sort of haphazard kind of life at that phase, you can then be thinking backwards and thinking of more peaceful times. So that's what that can represent. Because again, it's a path and it's hearts, it can represent a trip for pleasure. So by that, it could indicate, for example, family holidays, good trips with friends, making good progress, uh, moving ahead, and the current path will most probably lead to a very satisfying goal. Right, then we have the Six of Diamonds. Six of Diamonds is what I call the give and take card. It's become, for me, the give and take card. It's offering or receiving help and assistance. It can be unexpected gifts, investments, financial offers, or assistance. It also warns to be careful of budget because this gives, just as you can go forward, you can also go forward, in a sort of a negative budget aspect. So one needs to look at that. But overall, it's steady progress and moving forward towards a financial goal if you budget correctly. It's also responsibility for family, home. Family, home, it's that financial, the diamonds are usually about security, so can indicate then. Overall, it's generosity, tolerance, charity, appreciation, recognition, even within perhaps like a family unit. It's also a time of peace for this card. It can also indicate an accountant or accounts or a car because of the path and because the diamonds, it's a physical thing. So it can indicate distance or traveling by car, something or someone far away because it's it's that kind of travel card in the kind of security or a physical way, like a car would indicate. Then we get to the Six of Spades. Now, Six of Spades, I kind of over the years have reworked it a little bit so that it tends to be a little bit more positive than just negative. Um, because initially they'd seen as quite a negative card. So I prefer to view it as a transition from negativity into positivity. So you're going from a difficult time to a slightly easier time. Um, it will take work. It will probably take time, but it's coming. And that's more positive than just saying, oh, you're in a terrible situation and nothing's ever going to change. So it can mean approaching changes with fear, worry, regret, or even insecurity about what the future is going to bring, which is kind of normal. But this becomes more of an obsessive type of look at the future where you just, you only see issues instead of the positivity. So it's really a card that calls you to be brave and strong and overcome your fears. If we look at it as a positive, it's basically decluttering, cleaning up your life, walking away, which is always a good thing, hence the path. Um, and letting go of the past, letting go of old ideas, things that just don't work for you anymore. If you let go of them, that's the transition into a positive future. If we take it to mean, the negative side, then we're looking at disappointments, regrets, delays, generally bad decisions, directions, news, just simply doing something that's completely fruitless. It's just a lot of stress for no particular reason. Or in that same light, because it's a path, it could also be a bad trip. So it could warn you about not going on the trip. You know, it could simply say, yeah, I'll stay home today and don't go out. It can also indicate sort of a bad environment, a bad crowd, hanging out with the wrong type, perhaps even a person per se. It could represent a person. Generally, on the negative side, it's insincere, infidelity, cheating, or sometimes just plain divorce. So it depends how you read it in the spread and what the question really is. So there you go. That is a look at the sixes, and I hope you enjoyed that. There will be the next tutorial will be on the sevens, so do come back for that.